Okay, here's warm-up 5.4. We've got a two-column proof here. Okay, we've got some given information, and we're trying to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So the first statement is always going to be the given information, and so the reason is just going to be given because it just tells us those things are true. Okay, so what I like to do next is to put that given info into the diagram if it's not already in there. So this tells us, let's start with PS is congruent to PT. Okay, PS is congruent to PT. All right, I've got those two sides. So that's a good start. The other piece of given info, it tells us that PQ, that's this line segment, is going to bisect angle SPT. So angle SPT, right? You follow those letters, so the P would be the vertex. So it's going to bisect this angle here. Okay. So what that's really telling us is that these two angles are congruent. It doesn't tell us that directly, but now we can figure that out because we know this segment bisects that angle. So that means that these two angles must be congruent. And that's actually the next piece of the next statement there says those two angles are congruent. So I can say that's true because I know the definition of bisect in the given info. When they say this word bisect, I mean that I know that means they cut it into congruent parts. So definition of bisect is my second reason. Okay. And then we've got PQ is congruent to itself. So that's this segment right here again. Well, anything is congruent to itself by the reflexive property of congruence. Okay, and you can write out property of congruence if you want, but I'm just going to write it like that. Okay, and so the way I like to mark that in here, this segment, I'll put two ticks since I've already used one tick there and there. That segment is congruent to itself. Okay, and now that we have that process, now we have enough information to say that these triangles are congruent, and that is the last statement, right? The last statement should always match up with whatever you're trying to prove exactly. So now we can say that these two triangles are congruent. We've got two sides and an angle that are congruent between the two triangles, and so I'm thinking, well, is this angle an included angle? And it is here, right? If you look at these two sides, that angle is between those two sides. It's formed by those two sides. So it is an included angle. So that means I'm going to use the SAS triangle congruency theorem. I'm just going to write that like that. Okay? And that's our two-column proof. And that's the end of the warm-up. And I'll see you next time.